Okay, thanks, Delilah. I really appreciate the opportunity. And I want to say thank you to IBM and to Zindi for giving people an opportunity to actually look at how to get into data jobs and AI job market, because there's so many ads out there, but there's so many things that you don't get to know. People don't tell you the tricks and trades of what we need to do. So today's presentation specifically is to equip you with the tools so that you know how you need to position yourself. So I'm going to go on to the first page in terms of how we go about putting jobs together. So later during the presentation, you will see that I explain to you how you must position yourself on certain platforms and also what your CV needs to look like. We're going to run into that. But what's the most important is you've got to simplify, because what happens is somebody who's got data on their CVs. So say you are a data analyst and then you see BI developer and you immediately send your CV out there. Don't do that, because what happens is it's going to go into the ATS's file 13, because what they want to see is they actually want to see, and you'll see in the CV format later, they want to see what do you do in a paragraph. Hi, I specialize in, so I would say, hi, my name is Tracy. I specialize in recruiting and have got X number of years experience in the AI and the data space, and create opportunities for people to network. So the most important thing for you when you have a CV is find 4 job portals. So like in South Africa, 2 of them are Career Web. You've got PNet, Career Junction, and even Indeed. I'm finding that Indeed is taking up really, really good positions, and they are providing a lot of good positions. So it's a bit laborious when you go onto these 4 sites, but what you've got to do is you've got to upload your CV, and in a way, don't jump around. So I'll give you an example. If you were a data analyst, but you are now a data scientist, then stick to I'm a data scientist with X number of years experience, and I've specialized in the pharmaceutical area, and I'm looking for an opportunity to apply my skills in terms of whatever your specialization is in the data science sphere. The reason for that is, number one, nobody does that, which is going to make you stand out. And number two, you're going to be getting calls from agents. Because suddenly they don't have to think, including hiring managers, they don't have to think, okay, let me go through the CV. What does he or she do? They immediately see what you're looking for. So tailor your resume. You don't necessarily have to do a cover letter. If you are approaching a client directly, what I want you to do is I want you to write down the name of the person who has put the job out, because I want you to go onto LinkedIn and send that person a message, personalized message, saying, hi, I applied on X site. I saw that you were hiring, and I've applied for this position, and I'm the right candidate because I bring passion, I bring purpose, and I bring the skills that you're looking for. I can't wait to hear from you. Kindest regards, your name. And then also automate it so that you get job requests coming towards you. So the notifications are going to be a lifesaver, because I often find that people, when they start recruiting, they put the wrong job titles, or they put too much information on an ad, and it looks like you're looking for, I don't know, Noah and Moses and the whole freaking Old Testament. No offense to anybody around religion. I'm just saying that it looks so long and complex that you don't actually realize it's really simple. That's why recruiters need to talk to the client and have a client-facing interview. So set up to receive notifications on new positions. And I would go on geography, where I want a job, If they're giving you a budget, share the budget that you're looking at, and then what title. So BI developer, data analyst, anything that you are skilled in. If you are a graduate, then I would say I'm a graduate specializing in mathematical computer science, and I'm open to opportunities that I would love to join a company that I can learn and I can stay with and apply and grow. Now, LinkedIn, on the opposite side of this, is it's a different kettle of fish. It used to be a a really good site where people will meet people, and then you immediately see that people have ads that they put on. Be aware on LinkedIn that when somebody puts an ad on LinkedIn, they've already got 100 candidates in less than an hour. It's a standard. It's not even a must, it's a standard. So your LinkedIn profile needs to be stellar. Now I'm going to go back again to in LinkedIn, there's a paragraph, and you'll see later in the CV that you can list your skills. But in that paragraph, say I'm a passionate data engineer who has used the following toolkit or tools, for example, AWS, Google, Azure, in terms of building data pipelines. And I'm looking for an opportunity in this geographical area, and I can't wait to hear from you. Buff yourself up, but you'll notice I keep coming back to the same point. Be specific. Stop just going to 20 data science roles and then just sending your CV out there, because I promise you, you're going to hear nothing. I've had this week now a client of mine, product manager, and he has sent his CV to the same company for 20 different roles. Not one person has come back to him. And also on LinkedIn, another company, there were 30 roles, all in his sphere of influence, and not one person came back to him. So the art of this starting is connect with recruiters and connect with hiring managers. So go do your homework. Go look on and say, if there's companies you want to work for, firstly start out with who are the companies that are hiring data engineers, and then write down the person's name that you see there and then send them a message. And then secondly, get really comfortable in terms of that you're enough, because this is a mental exercise. So if you do the homework at the beginning, then it's going to be a lot easier. People are going to want to come and connect with you, and just keep your status out there, because sometimes people get very demotivated and think, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not. Don't do that. Focus in terms of exactly what I'm saying to you. Be very specific. And that's where we are before we go on to slide 3. The idea around crafting a data and AI CV is that you've got to be able to get somebody's attention immediately. It can't be 4, 5, or 6 pages long. It's really important to highlight your profile, and you'll see on the CV that I sent through to Delilah that she can send out to everybody on the call. Your CV highlights your technical skills, your quantity achievements, and your showcase projects, because recruiters often will say to me, well, I'm looking for a data scientist. Then my question will be, okay, but a data scientist in what? Healthcare industry, financial services. What does this person want to do? And the answer is they just want an inroad in the company. So you have to sell to somebody else. Yeah. Okay, somebody has to be able to answer this. Is there anybody on the call that is in a committed relationship, married or otherwise? Just send me up a thumbs up. Is everybody single? Or am I supposed to look at the chats? Okay, so the reason I'm asking this is you had to sell yourself to your partner. So the idea is you want to get through the recruiter in front of a client. Hi, Habib. Nice to see you on camera. So and this is why you mustn't just say, I studied this at this university, I studied that, and then I did a bit of research. Because I promise you, you go into file 13 because they get on average 300 ad responses a day. Does anybody have any questions right now before I go into the next slide? Anyone? Not. Okay. So when you are presenting yourself to recruiters and to companies, present yourself clearly. That means a photograph of yourself. They're going to look at you on LinkedIn. So put in your LinkedIn link, put in your GitHub link, and I will let me just show you this before I continue. And I'm going to stop sharing and show you a CV before we go on. And that might give you an understanding. Oh, it's raining on my side. Okay. Can now share. Okay, so this is a CV that is going to get you in the door. So if you take a look on the right-hand side, you attach a picture of yourself. Please, not of you drinking any beers or having a party, a professional photograph. Just get somebody to get you in really good what you're wearing. You'll notice you need to give your full name, your email address, your LinkedIn profile, your portfolio, and your location. So where you are prepared to work and where you're prepared to where you are currently stationed. Then you've got to put together a professional summary, maximum 3 sentences. So I would say, hi, I'm Tracy Durant. I've got 25 years experience in recruiting, headhunting, sourcing, and working with companies and finding top talent. And that would be my agreement. Now, what clients are looking to see is if you look at this on the education side, on the left-hand side, show your latest education. If you've got many, many courses, just take your top two. But the most important is your degree. And then on the right-hand side, are your technical skills. So your key skills, like if you are a data scientist that does linear regressions, regression testing, all of the models that you have to build as a machine learning engineer, list them. Because if I say, for instance, on a professional summary, hi, my name is Tabu and I am a data engineer, then what I would expect to see on key skills is I have 5 years experience in Google, in Azure, in AWS. I've built pipelines and executed because it's really important for them to understand. A goldfish has the attention span of 9 seconds. Human beings have the attention span of 7 seconds. So if you are a hiring manager, I promise you, a hiring manager, when they see this kind of a CV, they're going to immediately say, listen, I want to interview. And then what you've got to do is you've got to take 3 projects. It can be from your studies or it can be from your work, but it's got to be projects where you took the initiative. It was under your arm, and you then explain to them what was the problem that you were solving, the description, the tools, and then your key contributions, and then put down a minimum 2, maximum 3. And then here you've got career history, because career history is now going out of fashion. Clients don't want to see CVs anymore. They're asking me for LinkedIn profiles. They're also asking me to measure, and I've got to say to them who I think is the best candidate for the job. Now, you've got 10 people that you're up against or 100 people that you're up against. And it's not in just in qualifications, it's in your personality, it's in your experience. So job history, career history, I would say max the last 8 years that you've done, because I do have clients that have been in the data space for 15 years. Pages and pages is not what they're looking for. So keep it down to about 8 pages. And then you've got salary expectations. Do not give the number. Don't give the number at all, because you've shot yourself in the foot, because they could have wanted to pay you $2,000 more and you've now negotiated yourself down. Rather just say the currency that I'd like to earn. Salary expectations are Kenyan shillings and US dollar. And that just advises them, because a recruiter is supposed to prime you on what you're going to be walking into. Okay, so this is the CV format. So I'm going to stop sharing and go back to the presentation. Does anybody have any questions for me? Because let me go into. Oh, you guys are so great. You are putting that. Okay, got you. Now let me go back to the presentation. Please put the questions in the chat. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Delilah. Okay, so share. Okay, so these recruiters are not the only way, and you've got to get used to that. I want you to practice LinkedIn. I want you to practice introducing yourself to people and say, hi, I would very much like to connect with you, because you are in the data space, as am I, or AI space, or whichever BI space. And just grow your network. Guys and girls, it makes a massive difference, the network that you have, because my cell phone is something that every single person that I meet, I actually write down their name, their number, what their position is, and how I know them, so that when they phone me or I phone them, I can reach out to them. Okay, I just want to see in the chat. Where are we? Yeah, Marta, we are sending the resume after that. Okay, so networking means join groups on different platforms. I want you to look at a shared platform. I've got a whole thing. It's actually a link that I'm going to send to Delilah, where if you take a look at AI tools, it was built for recruiters, and it shows you how they go about finding positions. So you'll notice on this slide that I'm saying, go to conferences, go to workshops, go to events, meet people, and be very, very specific in your communication. Tailor your communication. So don't talk about my aunt's left foot. Just say, this is what I do. What do you do? What are the opportunities? And just let somebody see who you are. I don't want you to become anybody different. And that's the one thing that when you're going through the interview process, it's scary. I promise you, I've done this for 25 years. It's scary because you are putting yourself out there. You don't know if am I good enough? That's the first thing that 100% of human beings have, this voice in their head that says, am I good enough? Am I good enough? Am I good enough? You are good enough. What you've got to do is you've got to do a mental exercise. So when you tailor communications and you meet someone, then you just send them an email to say, thank you so much. It was great chatting with you. And then you prepare your elevator pitch. I can send this presentation also, Delilah, if you feel that that will add value. The elevator pitch is, if you are stuck in an elevator for 30 seconds with somebody and it's a hiring manager, what would you say to that person so that they would hire you? And I'll give you an example. So, hi, I'm a data scientist and I've done this for 3 years. And the projects that I've been on have been in healthcare, in the financial services, and I've increased savings by 25% on this one project and increased productivity on a second project. It's exactly that CV, that resume that I showed you, because it's tailor-made for people to want to get to know you. And research elevator pitches. Guys, there's a reason we've got YouTube. There's a reason we've got so many social media sites so that you can practice how to present yourself. But what I find very often is when you're in data and AI, you are very planned and you're not necessarily talkative unless you know the people around you. So, okay, so let's go to the next slide. Am I on 4? Okay. Then we've got how you have to prepare yourself. You've got to, it's a mental exercise. Can somebody say to me in the chat, do any of you do mental preparation in the morning before you start your day? No. Okay. That's okay. Please, guys, and ladies and gentlemen, you have to. I don't care how you do this, but you have to start to meditate, because what's happening is you're going out into the market and you are scared and you're unsure and you really need a job and you really want to be part of a great company, but you've got to be able to attract it to you. So what you've got to do is, I read tons of books. Okay, so this is how to win friends and influence people. There's a 3-6-9 rule, and there's a 68-second rule, which is 1 minute and 8 seconds. Okay, so what you do is, before you do any task in this day, you literally close your eyes. You envision that what you are about to do is send out a CV to a recruiter or a company, and write down the name of the recruiter or the hiring manager that's asked for that job. And then you visualize how you are attracting it to you, because there's a universal law, which is gravity. Okay, as much as I can think I'm positive that if I drop this, it's gonna hang in the air. The law of physics promises me that if I drop this, it's going to fall. So the same thing in the law of attraction works. It changes how you feel. You start to get excited. You say thank you. You are grateful. And you imagine how you're going to feel when you've got that job, when you're part of that team, when you're part of learning. It's really important. Every person, every biography you read, all of these guys, I mean, from Abraham Lincoln all the way back to Elon Musk, all of them mentally prepare. They don't just rock up. And then the night before, they've got a task list to do. So what's important here is there's something called the 3-6-9 rule, which says I'm going to manifest. So this is just my personal approach. So I just say, God and I are going to co-create, and whatever I want, I say it's done. And I write it down 3 times. Then, so I set that at 7 in the morning. Then at 12, I write it again, but then I write that out 6 times. And then again, at just before I go to sleep, I write that again at 9 times. It sounds like a lot of work, but you have to shift your mind from checking at your friends and listen to the bad news and how bad the employment ratio is. It's not true. You will start to attract people towards you who will offer you opportunities. But by getting yourself into a state, and very often, so my day, I start with exercising, and then I read something and I watch something. And then I do the biggest tasks that I'm the most scared of doing. And yes, I am scared of doing a lot of things, but my fear is less than the reason why. I'm doing this because I want to create more and more jobs for more and more people. So that's what's driving me in my heart. And then I say congratulations to myself. So it's really important that when you were a baby, you never thought, I can't do anything. You just knew that everything was taken care of. So I'm trying to say, okay, yes, I'm sharing my screen, but now I can't get out of chat. Okay, now I can. Okay, so here, all that this is saying is that you need to prepare yourself that when you are talking to a client company, you know what you're talking about. So it's preparation meeting opportunity. So here's the next slide. So acing the interview. How many of you in the chat think that I'm an extrovert? And how many of you think that I'm so wired? I attract so many people towards me. But the question is, how many of you think that I'm an extrovert and I love dealing with people? You can just say, okay, great. So George, you're an extrovert. Iman, okay, so you do. Frank, no, okay. So what's happened is I have taught myself I'm an extreme introvert. It doesn't mean that an introvert can't talk to people. It just means that they get their energy from somewhere else. And then so I literally by Friday afternoon, I am man down. I have no more energy. So that's why I plan my days so that it's targeted towards that. But I would feel, imagine if I rocked up tonight and I said, "Hi, my name is Tracy. I'm here to talk to you about getting a position." I mean, I've already lost you. So, Rodney, I agree with you on needing more data. I agree. I love the thoughts. Okay, so have fun with this process. Shift it in your brain. So when you're acing it, communicate clearly. Again, what I said to you, tell them what you want to do. So if you say, well, I've just graduated, I'm pretty open, but I seem to find that I love coding more in Python or data visualization, then that's what you do. If your passion is data science, then you say to them, I'm really good in this and I'm really good in stats. Demonstrate enthusiasm, because look at how these on the picture. Person is leaning in and she's smiling. It makes a difference to somebody. It really does. I promise you, I cannot tell you how many placements I've made because somebody was enthusiastic. They didn't have the best CV, they didn't have the best results, they didn't even have the best career history. But because they were enthusiastic and because they kept showing that they're willing to learn, it worked out well. And then prepare for your interviews by asking thoughtful questions. So with a recruiter, do you actually have a position for me? And how many people am I up against? Okay, so now this is a really, really easy one. Have you a good interviewer? That means hiring managers as well as recruiters do what they call behavioral assessment interviews. Have any of you ever heard of that? Okay. I love this chat. I'm having so much fun, even though you guys aren't chatting with me. Okay, formal messages. Okay. Uh, okay, something about we can't record anymore. Okay, so what a behavioral interview is this. It's called the STAR method. Okay, so there is no yes or no in an interview. They are hiring you not because they're lonely. They are interviewing you because they need to fill a position in their business. And this gives you an opportunity. So you start with a situation. So they might ask you, okay, so here's a situation in our business. We're facing X. How would you solve it? And you've got to actually explain, well, what I would first do is I would assess what the problem is. I would then make sure that I've notified the stakeholders. I would then take the following actions. It's the same around tasks. If you've put on your CV, I don't know, I'm a Python developer, then they'll ask you, so what have you done in Python? Don't just say to them, I coded, because that's not what they're asking you. They're asking you, can you explain to me the situation or the project that you were in? And did you stand back or did you stand forward? Then you've got action, which is always explain to somebody about how you took point, or how you took the action, and then the highlight of the result. The idea is that they get a picture of you, because remember, I don't know how many of you are married, but what I do find is that if you don't, thanks, Sherilyn. Okay, where are we? So, shouldn't have said Sherilyn. Sorry, man. No, I've lost my train of thought. So the idea is that nobody goes for one date and then gets married. It doesn't work that way, but it does in the recruitment world. I've placed candidates within a week and a half. It's humanly possible because the process is set up correctly, the clients are set up correctly. We then present them well. And then the final slide that I wanted to show you is this one, your key takeaways. So refine your CV, network actively, stay in groups, and talk to your lecturers. Who do they know that are looking for people? Do they know companies that they can help you with? And then practice interviewing. Just practice with a buddy, practice with somebody who loves you and won't judge you, because it is about uh, how you present yourself. And if you present yourself in a way that's either too shy or too overbearing, just listen to the questions and then mirror where they're at. So, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, we're at about 22:07 South African time. So, has this added any value to anybody? And I'm open for any questions from anybody. Has this been good?
Um, Hi
Yes, sir.
Tracy.
Hi, George.
Thank you for the presentation. Yeah, I would say this has added quite some value to me specifically. I think
Okay.
for the past year, I've been facing a lot of the problem you highlighted, where I sent a lot of applications and immediately I don't even get shortlisted. And throughout your presentation, I noticed a couple of things that I was doing wrong. For example, my CV, but I also completely did not know about the mindset part, which you spent quite some time describing.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever sat down, visualized the job and where I would be when I get it. So I think um, I'll add that into the list of things I need to upgrade. Thank you so much.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, George. Hi, Yates. Your hand is up. Do you want to speak or do you have a question? Yates? Not.
Hi.
Uh, Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for the presentation. It's very wonderful. Um, I wanted to ask, you said part of the process, of course, there is the part of the CV, but you also spoke about the part about making a good LinkedIn profile. So I wanted to ask, do you have any pointers on how to make a profile that like stands out to a recruiter that can like pop? Um,
Yes. You know what else would suggest? You can write down my address. It's Tracy at Zindi. Um, Africa and email me your contact details, and then I'll give you some pointers on how to bump up your LinkedIn profile so that they go, wow, this is somebody amazing. Because I want to provide as many tools for you guys as possible. So not only will it be at the CV, but there's a link of it's quite phenomenal how the recruiters have said channels on how to get candidates and. So the idea is, please guys, link up with me on LinkedIn, because I've got so many people in the data space globally that I'm working with, that it would help. So send it through to me. If you want me to help you, I can help you with the greatest of love. It's just, we've got to do it together. I just want to show you what you should say for your summary, and then how you do a takeaway so that it doesn't look boring. But I do that with love for you. So please send it through. Yes, administrator.
So sorry for that, Tracy. I just realized that I had not updated my name from the Zoom app upon
Oh,
downloading it.
no
So my
problem.
name is Zacchaeus. You can call me Zach. And
Okay, Zach.
yeah, and I have quite an interesting question. Yeah, we've talked about recruiting process, and we've talked about how to write your CV, and we've talked about meditation and visualization, which is something that I do, but I'll be doing it way more often. So here is my question. So supposing that I've done all this and I have managed to land a job, but in between the job, I find out that the situation is quite crazy. You know, some jobs inside the organization, you find some crazy situations. I know you understand about this. And then,
1,000%.
yeah, so maybe interactions with people inside the job, maybe it's not working quite well. And now you're in a situation whereby you want to stay and you want to resign from the job, because now this is a situation that you had not looked into. So would you advise someone to resign from a job that he or she feels like this is just not it for me? Thank you. That is my question.
No, I wouldn't. So what I would suggest is that you set a timeline for yourself. You'll be very, very, very surprised at what happens when you are in a situation, and it is quite normal, because again, what I said, it's a date. You do one meeting with them, and then my screen sharing has paused. Sorry, I don't know anyway. So no, based purely on economic value, I wouldn't resign, but I would put everything and some into getting back up. So I would contact as many recruiters as I could. I would do searches. I would do Google Boolean searches. I would look on LinkedIn. I would contact companies and say, listen, you are really amazing, and I'd like to work for you. So how do I go about doing that? And you can also send me through an email. Let me just answer this. I'm trying to get into my LinkedIn. So, and I'll explain to you why. The minute that somebody sees you're not employed, they have a bias, and I want to answer somebody else's question about bias. So if we look at your you not working, it means that yes, you can get snapped up, but you're going to have to then be on interviews like nobody's business. And remember, we only starting to do this. We still are in Africa. We're not like in the States and the UK where they move like that. We're slower. So it might take up to 3 months to get yourself a position. And I wouldn't want that stress for you. But what I do say is there's recruiters and then there's recruiters. And I would only go to somebody that understands my specialization, that can help me and then open up doors for me. And that starts with where we're at. Okay, so there's a question. Before I answer this question, did I help you, Angel? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, that pretty much explains and answers my question.
So email me. So let me just put this down. Okay, so my name is Tracy Durant on LinkedIn, and email is Tracy at Zindi.Africa, or Tracy at nationbuild.org.za. Reach out to me about what you're needing. Okay, so somebody sent back a question about, what about your photograph? Would it not create bias? And I'll explain to you why it won't create bias. You have people that everything on your LinkedIn profile and about you has to be positive. It's got to. So I had a client called Ricky Lake, and Ricky didn't want to put his picture on, and Ricky is Chinese, so he's a South African Chinese person. So I'd have to then say to the client, listen, Ricky is a South African Chinese gentleman. There wasn't any bias there. If you feel, and this is why I'm saying you've got to do as much inner work as you're doing on the outer work. If you feel shy about a photograph, then don't put a photograph on. But people, the chances of them contacting you is about 75% higher if they can see the human being to human being. So it doesn't matter. I've got gentlemen with long hair longer than I have, and nobody has biases about them, because they'll go down your LinkedIn profile and look at your achievements, what you've done, and the value that you're bringing. There's a question that says, how do you handle a current employer sabotaging your chances of getting hired when they get a call or email from a prospective new employer? I don't understand the question. Getting hired when they get a call or email from a prospective new employer. Are you in a situation where you're working at company A, and you're saying that they are stopping you from advancing? Because I'm not quite understanding what you mean by when they get a call or email from a prospective new employer. Is it an employee, as in they want to hire that person and let you go? Could you clarify that for me? Because I would put a grievance against them. I'd be that serious. And that's why I'm saying to you guys, it's really important with the mental well-being, to get yourself in a space where I take myself seriously. I do the best work that I do, and I know that all of you do. And what I expect from somebody else is that you do the same thing. So a grievance is quite serious, but it says, listen, I feel in the workplace. And remember how employment law works. I'm not sure about the other countries, but in South Africa, it works. The employer has to prove that you are wrong. So just say to them, I'd start with a one-on-one discussion, and just say, listen, I need your advice. I'm getting this feeling. Trust your intuition. That's the one thing I trust, is my intuition, because it'll give me a gut feel. If I feel that somebody's against me, I'll feel that. But normally what I then do is I go out of my way to make them the best friend. So if they've given me insults, I've received insults from clients and a lot of stuff. And what I do is I go out of my way to make them my best friend, and I give them what they're looking for. So, guys, I think we pretty much have everything. I'll send everything to Delilah tomorrow. Is there anybody else
Tracy, I can get you on some questions on the chat.
Okay.
When you're tracking, looking for a new role or a job, what's the best approach? Do you tell them straight up that you're job hunting and ask if they know someone hiring? And there's another question around, is there anything like an ask too high if asked for the salary you're looking for?
Sorry, that's quite a number of questions. So on LinkedIn, for example, you can say open for work and keep that. It's just for employers and it's just for recruiters. It won't show up on your profile, but it's a heck of a lot easier if I know that the person is open for a discussion, because it takes 3 times longer trying to find candidates and go through ad responses. So if you're looking for work, the second thing is you've got to research your competitors. So when it looks, what I normally do is I go in every week and I look for who is looking for data engineers, who is looking for data scientists, who's looking for BI devs. And with that, I make a note of the companies and then I look for the name of the person and I personally introduce myself. I send them an email to connect with their connections and say, I would love to learn from you. Would you be open to having a WhatsApp call with me? Because again, it's practicing that networking, which is why your mental space is so important, because people create jobs. I was in a meeting today where they actually have decided that they are going to create another 60 jobs, and it wasn't planned for, but they looked at their financials and they decided if they don't do something drastic in terms of increasing training of their people and data, increasing investment in their people and networking events with CIOs, and making a customer-centric approach, which includes the staff. They're on a route to closing their doors in 2 years after operating for 24 years. So we put it together, and that's the way that you start. But start little. Don't think of this huge mountain, everyone, because when you're going for a job, you look at this mountain and you think, oh no, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And remember, it's just a thought. And when those thoughts come to me, I stop them and I say, nope, that was just a thought. It's not a fact. I am qualified to do this, so let me eat the frog first and foremost. Delilah, have I answered all of the questions? Because
maybe one last one. Is there anything like an ask too high if asked for the salary you're looking for?
sorry, an ad. Are you looking for an advert for hiring?
No, an ask. Is there anything like an ask too high if you ask for a salary you're looking for? If someone wants to maybe
advice. Oh,
negotiate a
yes.
salary, yes.
Yeah. So say somebody's earning, I don't know, $3,000. I'm using that as an example. And the budget of the company, the recruiter will know, would be like 6,500. So if they push me hard enough, then what I would suggest is I would say, I'm very humbled to be put forward for this position. What is happening in the marketplace is I seem to be going into interviews where companies are looking to pay anywhere between 4,000 to 6,500 US dollars. But obviously it would depend on the role and it would depend on the value that I'm bringing to the company. So you're not being direct and you're not being saying to them, no, you've got to pay me this. You actually are just saying the marketplace is positioning me because we've got such scarce skills and I can learn faster, because in a year you'll be in a very different place if you're in the right workforce that grows you. So when they push you for a salary, say to them, and if it is banks, please, please, please say to them, I'm very hesitant to give you a number because the banks pay different rates. They give you reduced rates in credit cards, cars, houses, loans, study loans, the whole 9 yards. But the easiest answer is to say, well, you know what I'm on. I once had a client who said, I don't care what the person's on. I will pay what I need to. But then that's why you've got to prepare to show them that you're worth it. But the easiest answer is the market, the companies that are interested in me, even if the companies are just where you've applied for, are looking in the ranges of 4 to 6, but I'm really not set in stone. Is it possible to go back to my recruiter, or is it possible for me to do a technical assessment or a case study or whatever they put you through? So I hope that answers the question. Yeah. So we've got 3 minutes. I just wanted to say to everybody, I'm incredibly humbled to have had your audience. I don't take it lightly, and I just wish you all well. You have my contact details. Zindi and I and IBM are here for you to actually help you do your career. But remember, the only person who's going to drive your life is you. And you've got to be able to put your shoulders back and say, yes, I feel scared, or I do whatever. I even jog on the spot like 7 times a day if I feel that I'm scared or I'm uncomfortable to make a call. But that's just something, the more you practice, then it becomes a lot easier. That's it, everybody. I hope it's been of value, and please reach out to Delilah and just advise what it is that you're needing. But I will send that link of different areas that you can look at that recruiters find roles on, and then the CV format. You've got my name for LinkedIn. If there's anything else, I just want to say thank you so much, Delilah, Amy, and everybody on this call, and have a great evening.